What I want to talk about tonight is your state, and these prolonged periods of state which we can find ourselves in. Sometimes, man, for weeks, for months, before you even realize it. And it's the state of taking tolerances and kind of having this default state. And there's so many times in your life where you can just fall into these states, and you know, you have big hopes, big dreams, you make a bit of change, and then all of a sudden it's been 2 weeks or a month or something, and you've lost everything. You're back to your old habits. You tried to make change, you're back on this bad path, or things just seem like they're not working out for you, and you just kind of accept in your head that, you know, this is just what it is now. Like, maybe I'm not meant for something better, maybe I'm not meant to fulfill my dreams, and you just kind of get this level of acceptance for your default tolerances. And before I got back in shape last year, I was in this so heavily. I was just in the state of just accepting, hey, maybe this is how things are now. Maybe this is what my life is, my glory days, my fitness stuff, it's behind me. That's not me anymore. This is just what life is now. I talked about in the last video, I talked about these kind of, you know, distractions, what we mask ourselves in, and social media, instant gratification, food, this kind of stuff which can kind of mask your pain in a sense. And a lot of this default state which we can find ourselves in, a lot of the time it's quite often just masking pain. You almost don't want to address things, so you cover it up with instant distractions and all this kind of stuff. But I can tell you, man, the biggest fucking change that's ever going to happen in your life comes from pain, man, and these pain points. But I'll tell you what's even more painful is when you can be in a state for so long and just be accepting that, hey, this is your life right now. And that's not the case, man. So I want to implore you, what's your pain? I know there's something that you're masking, and you're just saying, hey, this is my state. I'd rather be in this state of, hey, maybe things aren't that great, but I mean, they're not the worst. I tell you, man, that kind of state is the worst. It's sometimes, man, emotion, pain, that shit's beautiful, man. If you can find something, or if you've got something that is just a massive pain point, you can use that to make serious change in your life. That's what I did when I was out of shape. I just looked at myself in the mirror and I said, you know what, this isn't fucking good enough. And hey, maybe people in your life will say, nah, it's fine, you're all good the way you are, because that's what everyone wants to be. But truly, you know deep down, if there's shit that you're not living up to, you're always gonna know that. There's no escaping that. You can mask it temporarily. Maybe you're gonna be sifting around in an average state for, you know, weeks, months. Maybe some of you guys have been watching this, you've been in a sifting fucking state for the last 2 years of your life. Maybe, just maybe, you can try dig up some pain. What needs to change? Because the state isn't forever, and that's something that is just so important to understand. I want to implore any of you guys watching this, what's a pain point? What's something you can bring up? What's something you can get angry about, get emotional about? People hide away, or they don't show, you know, on this, especially on social media and stuff. You never see someone's anger or them crying or shit like this, because no one wants to show that. They're ashamed of it. But man, we all have that, and no one talks about it. But when you can tap into that can be what sparks the change in your life. I know for me, man, I've been in spots in my life where things have just been shit and depressing, and it's just like, enough can only be enough for so long. So what can you dig up? What can you use as the spark to change? Stop masking that shit. Dig it up, feel it, and use it as a catalyst for change. Just because your life's shit, it's no excuse for it to always be shit. You know, that's the beauty of like negativity and any kind of negative feedback in your life. You can use that as a direct tool to change your life for the better. I've still got weaknesses and things, pain points, which I'm drawing on and trying to improve in other aspects of my life. But it's important to not shy away from that and mask it off, you know, because emotion, even though it might not be pretty, sometimes it takes tapping into that. And one big thing I want to say, and this is something that I always have had a lot of struggle with, I had that negativity and saying, hey, I could be better, and I was a bit ashamed of myself, and I was a bit upset with myself. That was really negative, and I used that negative energy for the change. But once I started to make that change, I didn't cultivate that negative energy, and that's something that you need to be really careful about as well. I know this is something that I sometimes struggle with. I will find something negative in my life and I'll use that as a spark, but once you have that negative energy for change, that's all it is. That's the fucking spark. So what makes the flame? What's that, you know, the gas coming up into that flame? That's where you can use the positive energy, man. The negative is what makes that spark. What's gonna fuel that? That's the gas, that's the source energy. And if you've got negative source energy, that's only going to keep you in a shitty state. Use positive energy to keep you flowing. It's never too late to fucking save yourself. Your life can be so much better. Your current state, it doesn't need to stay that way. Don't be afraid to dig up some shit and feel emotional and have a fucking cry if you need to get fucking angry if you need to. Anything to spark that fucking change, and use the gas, man. Use that positive energy to keep that shit flowing. You know, we all have the power to be fucking great and unbelievable, yet we choose to mask it sometimes and just say, hey, this is easier to just default and stick with our defaults. And what can we just tolerate? What can't you fucking tolerate? How about you find that? Because I bet you've got something.
Rivers run dry, dust breaths in the air. 2 dark days, do you have a tear to spare? Make a promise, the world awaits. It's heavy just breathing through this debate. Come on, start a riot.
And I'm telling you, man, I'm telling you, a life of so much fulfillment lies on the other side of that. I just feel like a lot of people these days is just trying to look perfect all the time and stuff, and man, I ain't fucking perfect, and sometimes I get angry, and sometimes I've used these emotions of depression or whatever I'm going through, man. You can use that shit to make the best changes in your damn life. And life ain't fucking easy. It ain't always fucking easy. And that's okay, because the journey of this shit, it's beautiful, man. It's what makes the success is so great. And I know you watching this, you have success awaiting you on the other side of some kind of pain, and you're probably masking some shit at the moment. Dig that up and make that change, because only you can save yourself, and that's a motherfucking fact.